To order the Town of St. John Redevelopment Commission meeting for April 24th, 2024. Will we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, Ms. Beth.
Gerald Swets.
Present.
Christian Jorgensen is absent. Mike Bovat.
Present.
Wayne Pondinas.
Present.
Ann Oster.
Present.
Bill Manasopoulos.
Here.
Joe Svetnoff.
Present.
And Beth Hernandez, present.
Item 4, approval of minutes. A, March 27th, 2024, meeting minutes. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the minutes from 3/27/24.
I'll second.
I have a motion. I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Item 5, old business. Mr. Billy, any old business?
No old business at this time.
Item 6, new business. A, update on introduction of residential housing development programs and ratify notice of public hearings. Any questions or comments? Do I have a motion to update the introduction of residential housing development programs and to ratify the notice of public hearings?
I'm sorry, what are we voting, what would we be voting on? I thought this was just an update.
I'm sorry, so it is an update. What you're voting on is a notice to ratifying the notice of public hearing that was put out by the bond council.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Billy. Mr. Billy. Do I have a motion for that?
I'll make a motion to update on the introduction of residential housing development programs and ratify notice of public hearing.
Do I have a second?
I second.
I have a motion, I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries 3-1. Item 7, reports and correspondences. Mr. Billy, any reports, correspondence?
No reports at this time.
Like to open up for public comment. Item 8, any public comment? No public comment. Thank you. Item 9, motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I second.
I have a motion, I have a second. Redevelopment Commission meeting is closed. Thank you. Calling to order the Town of St. John Town Council meeting for April 24th, 2024. Could we please stand for a pledge of allegiance, and after that, a moment of silence? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And in the moment of silence, in Munster, there was a tragedy with a 3-year-old, and the family is really, really suffering. Let us have a moment of silence, please. Thank you. You may be seated. Item 3, roll call, Ms. Beth.
Gerald Swets.
Present.
Christian Jorgensen is absent. Mike Bovat.
Present.
Wayne Pondinas.
Present.
Ann Oster.
Present.
Bill Manasopoulos.
Here.
Joe Svetnoff.
Here.
And Beth Hernandez, present.
Moving to item 4, public comment. We have Terry Nelman.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Terry.
Thank you, Mr. Bullock. Thank you, Town Council. I'm here to speak again in regards to a requested, a request to have Mr. Gerald Swets resign his position on the board. We've gone through this over, and
No, you're on.
I thought my voice was here. Again, to have Mr. Sweats resign his position on the town board in regards, the town council. I've been here back and forth numerous times, previous legal counsel, new legal counsel. Documents have been handed to, naturally, Mr. Sweats, and I do like to make, if I may, can I speak directly to Mr. Sweats? Because the rules before were I had to make direct comments to you. Since the rules have changed here, can I speak directly to Mr. Sweats?
Well, I mean, you have the opportunity to speak, but we're not going to have a back and forth dialogue, Mr. Nelman. Just speak your piece of mind.
Thank you. And please bear with me. I'm sorry for the persistence, but that just happens to be the kind of man I am. Again, Mr. Sweats, you need to resign as town council for the reason of keeping those kind of documents from federal authorities in regards to the Lennar homes that were built that you had knowledge of and kept letting it go and go and go and go. You were president of town council. You had the highest power of the town council to guide your council to the best resolution for the homeowners in the gates of St. John with these Lennar buildings. I happen to be one of them. I told you before that I have got the poster child of Lennar's dangerous homes. And Mr. Sweats, you have got from me the smoking gun of the homes that are built in the town of St. John by Lennar. You must resign, sir. Your scruples, your ethics are just unacceptable. And for that, I want to say, I did forget Jerry A. Nelman. My address is 9500 West, 103rd Place, and a proud St. John resident for 27 years here. My 100% respect for the entire council, except for that individual. Okay, you can't keep this kind of stuff from the federal government. There's too many departments involved. And my respect for the legal counsel, and also congratulations on everybody on their election and re-election.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the opportunity to speak.
So, Mr. Nelman, you've got a new town council here, and you've got a new president. If you would present those same documents,
Jerry, let's not get into dialogue.
I'm going there. He comes here every month, accusing me of doing something that I didn't do. So you've got a new town council, you've got a new president.
He told you not to.
Hey, you had your chance to speak. Now is my turn.
Fine, sir. Please, you're at my home. You came to my home,
Okay.
I got down on my knees to you.
Okay,
And I said, please,
everyone,
don't do this.
you're out of order.
Yes, sir, I am.
We're ending this,
Sorry.
we're moving on, we're fine, that's okay. We're moving on to item, where are we at here? Approval of minutes, we have here, number 5.
Wrong.
Approval of minutes. I just wanted to comment too that it's interesting when you get a lot of youth in a room, you feel the energy. Appreciate seeing all these Lake Central girls and everyone. It does bring a different feeling to the meeting. It certainly does.
Everybody else.
And item number 5, we're going to move on to approval of minutes. A, March 27th, 2024, meeting minutes. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make a motion to approve the March 27, 2024 meeting minutes.
Do I have a second?
I second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Item B, April 17th, 2024, study session minutes. Do I have a motion for approval?
I make a motion to approve the minutes from April 17th, 2024 study session.
I'll second.
I have a motion, I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Item 6, presentation, and this is for the Lake Central Centralettes. And I cannot tell you how extremely proud the town and the town council is of you young ladies being here this evening. We are extremely honored. What a reputation you have. At this time, we are going to recognize the Lake Central Centralettes, one of the top dance teams, not only in the state, but throughout the country as well. The Centralettes have won state championships every year, starting in 1995, when the first IHS DTA state competition started. With a total of 56 state championships and 21 national championships, the Centralettes are clearly recognized as one of the best dance teams in the nation. Most people do not recognize or understand what these girls go through. They endure years of vigorous training while making many sacrifices, such as missed family vacations, working on holidays and weekends, and so much more. The legacy of this team will live on for many years to come. Tonight, we are not just going to recognize this team, but also to recognize their leader. Now, we know he wasn't expecting this, but let me tell you a little bit about Kevin Mathis. Kevin joined Lake Central in 1989, and one of his goals was to create a dance team and to teach these young ladies so much more. I think we can all agree he did just that and more. Kevin wanted more for the Centralettes and all of Indiana's dance teams. In 1994, Kevin became the president and founder of the IHSDTA, Indiana High School Dance Team Association, providing a higher level of competition for dance teams across the state. Kevin is also the president of the NDCA, National Dance Coaches Association, and was chosen as the NDCA High School Coach of the Year in 2022. Let's bring Kevin and the Lake Central Centralettes up for a picture while we present this plaque to Kevin that reads as follows. In recognition of your outstanding performance, Kevin Mathis, Lake Central Centralettes head coach since 1989, 56 state championships, 21 national championships, presented this 24th day of April 2024 by the town of St. John. I've never seen a deer in a headlight before tonight. This gentleman looked a little bit surprised. We are so honored, Kevin. Thank you so much. Wow. Girls just gather in, pull in there. You got to get a picture. Get in there. There you go. We'll take with him and then I'll get in there. All right. Okay, and then hold on 1 second. Hold on, it's been recommended if you girls could turn around to see your jackets. Can we see the back of those jackets? Get some pictures. Recommended by Miss Beth Hernandez. She's voted in, ain't she? Okay, thank you. And then again, we're so honored.
No, we are LC.
Okay.
He wants to clap.
There you go.
I thought you guys were coming down.
Wasn't enough room. Would have been standing in front of all the
Yeah,
girls.
you see it all the time. We are LC. I don't know all about the clapping, but
Give them a minute.
take care.
Championships.
Thank you, everyone. What an outstanding group, I'm telling you. Continuing on with the agenda, item A, St. John Township Trustee Kathy LaRue has a presentation from the DAV.
Thank you for letting us come tonight and talk a little bit about the DAV walk. Bob Carnegie is, he's with the DAV organization, Steve Braver is as well. Thank you. And so I'm going to just kind of give you talk just a little bit, and then they're going to tell you a little bit more about the DAV organization and walk. So about 3 years ago, this is my third year of bringing a DAV walk to St. John Township. I was first introduced about 4 years ago, and they had it in North Township, and so I spoke to Mr. Carnegie, and I asked him how we could bring it to St. John Township. And so our very first year, we held the walk over in Dyer, and then last year it was at this, in Cherville by the police station. There's the St. John Township, right, War Memorial. So the purpose of the walk is not only to raise funds, but also to help raise awareness. And I think, you know, I tell my personal story. My dad was a veteran, and when he was at the end of his life, we were looking, and I didn't realize that he was eligible for some VA benefits. And we were very close in getting those before, and then he passed away. So in my heart, I want us to be able to let other veterans know, and in this case, the disabled veterans, to know what benefits could be available to them. So that is probably, for me, that's the biggest thing.
Sure.
That they know. We've been partnering together for about, like I said, 3 years. Just at the beginning of the month, we had an informational meeting over at the township, and that meeting, veterans were invited to come, and DAV had officers, they're called service officers, that met with the veterans, and then they were able to try to connect them with the VA. So I'm going to turn this over first to Bob Carnegie, and then Steve.
Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. I was a little worried when I saw the cheerleaders and they had a nice jacket. I've got one too. I thought maybe I was supposed to wear it. I think mine was a little different. As Kathy said, I've been with the DAV at the local level here in Hammond, and then also at the state level. And the key thing here for everyone to understand is that the DAV is here to help veterans. And I'm an example of one that when I served in Vietnam and came home, the uniform went up in the closet, everything got folded up, and I was working a week and a half later. And we don't realize is the things that we're exposed to when we're in certain situations and what that can do.
Is your mic on? There's a button on the bottom.
Hello? Hello?
Okay, green light's on, we're good then.
Okay. As I was saying, a lot of veterans, especially of my era, that served in Vietnam and then those that served before, quite often didn't understand what the VA could do for them after the fact. And guys in World War II and Korea kind of knew about some of those things, and it was a different time. When I came home from Vietnam, I had no idea I had been in Vietnam. I had no idea that I was exposed to the things that I was exposed to. 40 years later, somebody kicked me about 10 times and said, go see the VA and talk to them and find out what kind of benefits you could get. That's it. I had great duty. I was very fortunate. Come to find out, as time has gone on, I was exposed to several things unbeknownst to me while I was there. Just as the young men today are coming home from in the Middle East and they've been exposed to sometimes bad water in their camps and sometimes burn pits and where they've been assigned. Those things can come back to haunt you as your life goes on, and that's what the VA is all about. And one of the things that Kathy mentioned when we have a seminar, that's one of the things that we talk to veterans about, because there's not a sign posted on the billboard in every town that says go see the VA and find out how they can help you. It's more by word of mouth, right, Steve? From one veteran to another veteran to another veteran, and it's really not fair. And part of the brochure that you see here in the middle, where it says Disabled American Veterans, really, really, really key, because our organization is dedicated to a single purpose, and that's empowering the U.S. military service veteran to lead a high-quality life with respect and dignity. And that means health and everything else after the fact. And so the VA has monies set aside every year to help us. And when we're deemed to have had exposures or illnesses that were generated by our time in service, the VA is prepared to help us. But you gotta ask. They don't come and knock on your door. They don't know where you live. You've got to somehow communicate with them. And that's the way we help people. And by working with Kathy to get this word out to your community and to the veterans in your community to let them know how they can get assistance. That's really what our job is. And so I want to thank you very much for the opportunity here, particularly for the opportunity that Kathy has created to get this out via a walk like this to your community, and Steve will talk about it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bob. Good evening. My name is Steve Bramer. I was in the Army for 9 years. I did one tour of Iraq where I was injured and I received the Purple Heart. When I came home, I worked as an engineer for 8 years, and then I started having issues, and then that's when somebody brought me to the DAV, and then that's when they were able to help me. So I started helping the DAV at that point. I became a commander in Hammond. And in Hammond, we actually had a DAV walk that we had at Wicker Park for about probably 10, 15 years we've had it. Very successful. So we wanted to reach out south and come this way and start getting more veterans in their attention. We're not for profit, so we don't get any money from the federal government. It's all off of donations. All of our, like everybody part of our organization is volunteers. So if a veteran comes to us for help, we can help with rent, we can help with NIPSCO, we help with car payments, mechanic payments. So there's a lot of that we do for the veteran, aside from the helping with the claims. When we help a veteran with their claim with the VA, that's primarily what we do. Because we have actual service officers that are paid in Chicago that actually help with their claim. But at the local level, what we do is we help the individuals in the area when they're down on their luck. And we try to find other resources that are available to us. You know, we go to Kathy sometimes. We will go to the township in Hammond. But these fundraisers is where we get the bulk of our funds to help these veterans. So that's why we wanted to come today to, you know, let you guys know, that hopefully you guys could be a part of it. We also reached out to Dyer. You know, you guys are the tri-town. So we kind of wanted to emphasize that this year. So we wanted to get the 3 towns involved and hopefully have everybody, you know, help us out on this fundraising. This is going to be in August. Yes, it's going to be in August. We have T-shirts for anybody who comes. It's $25. Last year we had it for $25 a person, and then if somebody's sponsored, it would be $150 to sponsor, and you get your name on the back of the T-shirt. So we just wanted to extend it to you guys, an invitation to join us on that day, and hopefully we see you all there. Thank you for letting us speak tonight. You guys have any questions?
I do. If I would like to send you a check, I didn't see an address at all on this form. Is there an address that?
Yes, we do have an address. It's I don't have it.
I got it.
Okay, good.
They know, it's on Holman Avenue is our mailing address in Hammond, right across from Harrison Park.
Yeah, our home base is the VFW off of Holman Avenue.
Okay.
And I do have that address.
Okay.
So it's 5820 Holman Avenue. Hammond.
46320.
Oh, yeah. You know better than me.
I used to live there.
Oh, okay. Well, you know the neighborhood.
Well, Kathy, and I think it's Bob and Steve, we greatly appreciate you coming by and speaking and standing up for disabled veterans and for all veterans. We thank you for that. We're honored that you're here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We thank you for your service, and because you guys and your other fellow comrades, some never made it back, that's why we can sit here in a public meeting and have this conversation. Thank you. Thank you for your service.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
all of you.
And I just wanted to add, one of the things, as you're thanking them, one of my goals that I would love to see at this walk is that we start to bring more of the younger, the youth to the walk. Because I think it's so important. What happens, so when we meet at the War Memorial, and there's a memorial, a little ceremony there. And there will be people speaking about some of them's fallen heroes on that monument. And then we walk to the 9/11 memorial and then walk to Reeder Park. At Reeder Park, there are placards of over 300 fallen heroes from the state of Indiana since 9/11. And they've got their pictures and you see it, that like you said, our freedom is not free. People have sacrificed, they continue to sacrifice. And so I would love to see us bring in more youth, families. We brought in this year a food truck, which is owned by a veteran. There's an organization called 1441 Foundation, and they are trying to, it was actually founded by a mom and her husband whose son, who was a veteran, committed suicide, and it's to raise awareness for that. But why we're coming is we want to invite all of you, because it is a township walk. It's the ideal place, we feel it's the ideal place by the St. John Township War Memorial, but it's a township walk. It is not a township walk. And we would love to see all of you come out. And as I said, if you sponsor on the sheet, it says it's co-hosted by the town of Sherrville, obviously, what they're doing there, and then myself and DAB. Chapter 17 is the one that covers our area. But if you choose to do a sponsorship, as Steve had said, then on the T-shirts, it'll say sponsored by, and then the town of St. John would be listed on there, if that's what you choose to do.
That would be great. We'll
Yeah.
have our town manager, Billy Manasopoulos, follow up with that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry I can't stay, I'm gonna be zipping out.
No,
so
that's
I
fine.
apologize for that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank you.
coming.
We just think it would be really nice to get the cheerleaders to come out and clap and LC. I just thought that was a great idea.
Well, actually, that was Mr. Pondinas' idea. He thought of that, so I thank him for that. All right, Item 7, agenda items. A, financial matters of the corporation. Consider approval of progress payment to FH Pension for the 93rd Avenue and US 41 roadway intersection improvement project in the amount of $117,101, and authorize the clerk treasurer to issue payment from the 2020 GO bond fund. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to consider approval of progress payment to FH Passion for the 93rd Avenue and US 41 intersection improvement project in the amount of $117,101, and authorize the clerk treasurer to issue payment from the 2020 GO bond fund.
Mr. President?
Yes.
I believe that might be a Scrivener's error on the agenda. That is the amount that you listed it's including a 5% retainage, which we are not paying the retainage amount. So the actual amount is $111,245.95. That's less 5% retainage.
111,245.95.
95.
It's on the back page.
All right, so we'll do that again. We'll consider approval of progress payment to FH Passion for 93rd Avenue and US 41 intersection improvement project in the amount of $111,245.95, and authorize the clerk treasurer to issue payment from the 2020 GO bond fund.
Do I have a second?
I'll support that.
I have a motion, I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Number 2, request to purchase. There are a total of 11 requests to purchase in the combined total of $136,539.73 for approval.
Mr. President, I think there's a change in that.
I see that. I'm sorry. I have the update. Request to purchase. Let us do that again. Number 2. There are a total of 12 requests to purchase in the combined total of $154,339.73 for approval.
I make a motion to approve the request to purchase, the 12 requests in the combined total of $154,339.73.
I'll second.
I have a motion, I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Are you opposed?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry, nay.
Nay. Motion carries 3-1. Item 3, accounts payable voucher dated April 24th, 2024, representing payment for payroll supplies, services, and equipment rendered to the town of St. John in the combined total of $2,136,473. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion for the accounts payable voucher dated April 24, 2024, representing payment for payroll, supplies, services, and equipment rendered to the town of St. John in the combined total of $2,136,473.
Do I have a second?
I second.
I have a motion, I have a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries 3-1. Moving to B, ordinances and resolutions. 1, correction to ordinance 1824 from the March 27, 2024 meeting should be changed to ordinance 1826 due to Scrivener's error. So this was just a error on their part on scribing it, so Do I have a motion for that?
I make a motion to correct ordinance 1824 from the March 27th, 24 meeting. Should be changed to ordinance number 1826 due to scrivener's error.
I'll second.
I have a motion, I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Number 2, consider ordinance 1827 and ordinance amending salary ordinance NOS 1809, 1813, and 1815, establishing a schedule of wages, salaries, and benefits for employees, fire and police personnel, and town officials on first reading. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to consider ordinance 1827 and ordinance amending salary ordinance NOS 1809, 1813, and 1815, establishing a schedule of wages, salaries, and benefits for employees, fire and police personnel, and town officials on first and second reading.
So I have a question, just to clarify, the only changes in here are for the MIH program?
So, back to the message that I sent you earlier was the MIH was added to that, and then also for the parks, it'll be getting paid out of the,
For the summer help?
yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. I have a motion, I have a second.
I second.
There is a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Number 3, consider ordinance,
Mr. President, on that, since it was 4-0, if you can do a motion to adopt on second reading.
Mr. Joe, can we suspend?
We can suspend the rules as long as it's unanimous, and we can go ahead and adopt on second reading.
All right.
I'll make that motion. We adopt on second reading.
A second.
Okay, we have a motion to adopt on second reading. We have a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, now to have the second reading. This would be the second reading of the ordinance. Consider ordinance 1827 and ordinance amending salary ordinance NOS 1089, 1813, and 1815, establishing a schedule of wages, salaries, and benefits for employees, fire and police personnel, and town officials on first and second reading. Do I have a motion for second reading?
So moved.
I'll support.
I have a motion, I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Number 3, consider ordinance 1828, an ordinance establishing golf cart usage regulation in the town of St. John, Lake County, Indiana, prescribing penalties for violations hereof, and all matters related thereto, requires a motion to adopt on first reading.
I make a motion to consider ordinance 1828, an ordinance establishing golf cart usage regulation in the town of St. John, Lake County, Indiana, prescribing penalties for violations hereof, and all matters related to thereto, requires a motion to adopt on first reading.
I'll second.
I have a motion, I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Sorry, may I ask a question? Why do we need a golf cart ordinance? Why do we need golf carts on our roads, I guess is my question.
Because they are on the roads.
Doesn't make them legal.
People are driving them. Driving them on the roads.
Yeah, I just don't think it's a good idea to have golf carts on our streets, so.
So, all when you look in your packet in the ordinance, all the rules of the road are followed, and there's certain roads, obviously, that they're not going to be allowed on. We're not going to see them barreling down 41 or anywhere else.
Right, and we had that in the study session. I have a motion, I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries 3-1. Item C, council action, consider approval of MIH agreement between Indiana Department of Homeland Security and the town of St. John for a grant in the amount of $75,000 for the Mobile Integration Healthcare Grant. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to consider approval of MIH agreement between Indiana Department of Homeland Security and the town of St. John for a grant in the amount of $75,000 for the Mobile Integration Healthcare Grant.
Have a second?
I second.
I have a motion, I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Item 2, consider bid award for Gates Park Phase 2 to the sole bidder Garrett Construction in the amount of $682,600. Do I have a motion?
Yeah,
We have discussion first, that there was, they took out some more lighting. They didn't take all the lighting, so there was another like 60,000 to come out. It's supposed to be, the total is supposed to be $622,100. And that's, you look at the, in the request, not the request,
I seen
vouchers.
it, but I saw the
Yeah.
base bid.
It just,
'Cause they had taken out the lighting and that.
right, but they didn't take all the lighting out. So the proper figure would be $622,100.
Definitely.
Yes. You get it. Go back.
So, Mr. President, I'm concerned that we only have one bid for this project, and I mentioned this at the study session. I think we appear to have a deficiency or a flaw in our bid process. I'm wondering if the project labor agreement, the PLA that you adopted in January, is limiting the responses that we have to our bids. I think we're losing the competitive bid pricing. If we limit who's bidding, we will be paying more money for these projects. So if there isn't an open and honest bid process, it's going to be difficult to get the best bid. So therefore, going forward, I will be voting nay on these projects, both the RTPs and the docket.
Okay, and so what did you have for the amount? Are you,
$622,100.
Maybe for some clarification, if Dave would like to come up and explain our bid process that we use.
Thank you. Dave Schilling, Robinson Engineering. We did reach out to numerous contractors, and we have the phase 1 Gates Park going on right now. And the contractor on that project is Site Services out of Highland. I reached out to them, asked them why they did not submit a bid. They said that it was too much earthwork for them, but they are actually a subcontractor to area on the on this bid. So it would be the same contractor doing the paving for the path and the pickleball courts proposed in phase 2. So we did, publicly advertise, reached out to contractors, some reached out to a couple architectural type contractors, and they said just because it was all site work, they were going to pass. So I feel that we did get the responses that we were going to get. I don't think rebidding the project would result in better prices going forward.
And Dave, where was the bid, the amount that came in, as opposed to your estimate?
Just like 9.9% over the engineer's estimate. We try to use the rule of thumb. We're within 10%. You're good to go. So, that's it.
So this is not something that you haven't seen before, coming in under 10% or up to 10%?
No, we've had quite a bit bids lately that, just one bidder, and it's really hard to estimate these days with prices constantly going up.
There was a lot of contractors now reached out to, Northwest Indiana, that are capable of doing that project and perform similar projects in a lot of other municipalities, but were never contacted in regards to bidding this particular project.
Advertising the bid was first stage, right?
Thank you.
all right, thank you for that, Mr. Dave. Mr. Joel, was it done legally and according to the law?
According to what I've seen, it's been done legally, and it's been advertised the way it should under Indiana code. So at this time, it's necessary and proper that we should entertain the bids and go forward.
Thank you for that. Anything else, Mr. Billy?
No, I think Dave covered everything.
And then the price on that is for $622,100. Do I have a motion for that?
I'll make a motion to consider the bid award for Gates Park Phase 2 to the sole bidder, Gary Up Construction, in the amount of $622,100.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
A second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries 3-1. Item 3, consider approval of release of performance surety for Planet Fitness in the amount of $16,560. Favorable recommendation from the Plan Commission. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second.
I have a motion, I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries 4-0. Item 4, special exception to allow business CKA Scooters Coffee to locate at 8455 Wicker Avenue. No recommendation from the BZA, they were neutral. Do I have a motion for the exception to the business for CKA Scooters?
And this is just, you're not approving the business, you're just allowing a drive-through business in that spot.
I'd like to have some discussion on it.
Okay.
If you look at the drawing, I don't know if the drawing's available for the screen. The way that this is set up, it looks like it's landlocked on that lot. You have to come into the car wash, which is next door, to access that. So now if somebody wants to buy that car wash, is this scooter's gonna be landlocked?
So and Mr. Husk is here also to provide any questions or answers to any questions that you may have, but there will be an agreement between, James, if I come up, between what will be the Duke of Oil, if that is approved, and scooters.
All right, and then also the building doesn't have any brick on it. And I think we have an ordinance that's in place that everything on 41, when it comes in, should be brick.
So when that'll be done through when we get to the plan.
Right.
Right now, it's just the.
But
approval of the
looking at this, you can have the agreement, but what happens if Duke of Oil, comes in and they say they take off? Now, this piece of property is landlocked. Why would not the town require them to have their own entrance into that piece of property?
If I can speak to the cross-access.
Could you just introduce yourself? Give us your name and.
My name is James Huss with GVG Team. I'm agent for Grind LLC. I'm also the representative of the developers who are looking to purchase it and build this on the property. The cross-access easement, obviously they've entered into negotiations and they know they'll get that if they get through town approvals. That access agreement would be legally codified on a legal 5-7 document that would then have to stay in place even if the car wash next door were to change hands. So that access agreement wouldn't just disappear. And if I could speak to the cross-access easement, actually works to the advantage of some of the concerns the BZA had, in that because they share access, that will allow this business to locate on a parcel of land that went undeveloped for over 15 years without an additional curb cut onto US 41, which I think to the town is actually better.
Did that kind of clarify for you, Wayne, or?
Right, I still don't agree with it.
Well, so I have the same concerns that you do, Wayne. Unfortunately, this is just action by the BZA.
And I know.
Approving.
Right.
Not the building, not the location, just this type of business. Yeah, I would like to see that put in place before it actually comes in, that agreement. I'd also like to see brick on that building, so, but that's not what That's not our job tonight.
Well, I know, but I want to bring it up, he says, so nobody can say, well, you didn't ask, and now they're aware of it, but it also came with no recommendation, so.
Right.
Okay, so we have, any other questions on this?
If I could add to the exterior building, as Tom Manager already referenced, that will then, could then be brought again, likely will be brought up when this project does come through Planning Commission again, if we do receive this special use for the drive-through. It's our understanding that there is a three material requirement in the overlay district. If that's since changed, it requires some brick, we'll cross that through the Planning Commission and we'll ultimately have the final say at a later date, because Tom Manager.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? All right, back to item 4, special exception to allow the business CKA Scooters Coffee to locate at 8455 Wicker Avenue. There was no recommendation from the BZA. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to allow that, that exception, the special exception.
Do I have a second?
I second.
I have a motion, I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Thank you, gentlemen. Item 5, consider approval of variance of use for an assisted living memory care facility in a C2 district and US 41 overlay district located at 9117 Patterson. Favorable recommendation from the BZA. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to consider the approval of a variance of use for an assisted living memory care facility in a C2 district and US 41 overlay district located at 9117 Patterson with a favorable recommendation from the BZA.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? No second? We'll have to table this and reconsider it. Motion does not carry. Moving to item 6, special exception for building and accessory building in C2 district and US 41 overlay district located at 9117 Patterson. No recommendation from the BZA. Mr. Billy, could you comment on this?
Yes, I will ask the council to defer this item since the previous item died for lack of a second.
All right, we will table this item also. Moving to item 7, consider approval of a special exception to allow an oil change facility to co-locate in the hands-on car wash located at 8445 Wicker Avenue. Favorable recommendation from the BZA. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I second.
I have a motion, I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
We have discussion on it?
Sure. we can-
I'm for the project, but I think that the property has to be cleaned up a little bit. There's an old ladder on the one end of the building and on the north side. Some of that should be cleaned up. Otherwise, yeah, I think it would be a good idea but the property itself needs to be cleaned up a little bit. I treat it like a new business, you know? Some of the stuff is just, there's stuff laying up against the building and things, but if they agree to that, that's fine once they get going with it.
So do I have a motion?
You have a motion and a second.
I have a motion, I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Item 8, consider appointments to the Plan Commission, staff appointment, citizen appointment. Mr. Billy?
For these two positions, the employee position will be filled by Russ Vogel, and the citizen appointment will be Mr. Colin E. McWee.
Okay, we have 2 people to appoint to the Plan Commission. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion, I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed?
Nay?
Motion carries 3-1. Item 8, reports and correspondence. A, the town council. Any reports or comments from anyone on the town council?
Yeah, today we had a pre-construction meeting to get 4 water mains done, and they're going to start approximately in June 2nd. And one of them is between Primrose and Magnolia. Then there's some on Alcott, and up by Homestead Heights Drive on Alcott, but there's a total of 4 of them. And they should be finished sometime around November 18th. So that work will be starting, and all the residents in those areas will be kept up on the progress and when they're going to start those projects. And then if there's any road closures, that'll all be taken care of.
Good to know. Thank you for that, Mr. Wayne. Any other comments or
I have nothing.
anything? Moving on to B, town manager, Mr. Billy.
No reports at this time.
And item C, Ms. Beth, clerk treasurer. Any comments?
Just one
or-
quick comment. This past month, we rolled out My Water Advisor app, which is an app all residents can download. It will help all residents monitor your hourly, daily, and monthly water usage. You could address high water consumption, get leak alerts, and set water consumption limits. It's something that is valuable to all homeowners. I know, I don't know, maybe 5 years ago or so, I had a sprinkler head that was leaking in the backyard and didn't know that it was leaking until I received a water bill, and I'm sure some of you have been in this boat, a very, very high water bill because of it. And so downloading this app would be a great way that we are pre-warned and not socked with that water bill at the end. So just something for everybody to consider. If you have any difficulties downloading the app from either the website or Google, if you have a Samsung or the Apple Store, feel free to give my office a call, 219-365-4800, and we can walk you through that process. But it's definitely something everyone should take a look at.
Thank you for that, Ms. Beth.
Sure.
All right. Moving to item 9, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Support.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Meeting is adjourned.